Welcome to the Maine Famous podcast. I'm your host, April Shaw-Beaudoin, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Vanessa Santarelli of Your Maine Concierge. We are recording at the Noble House Inn in Bridgeton, and our guest is Justin Ward, who has owned Bridgton Books on Main Street for more than 30 years. In this episode, we talk about why he chose Bridgeton over Fryeburg, what it takes to keep an independent bookstore thriving through big box stores, Kindles, and changing seasons, and how he thinks about matching the right book to the right reader. He also shares some great Maine book recommendations, so stick around to the end if you want to add to your reading list. Make sure you subscribe to the show on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. And now, a message from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Simon Griffiths, President and CEO of Camden National Bank. Camden National Bank is celebrating 150 years of standing beside the people, businesses, and communities that make Maine and New Hampshire home. And at the heart of it all is you. Every step of the way has been made possible because of your support. Even as we've grown, one thing has remained: our deep commitment to the communities we serve. We're not just here to offer financial guidance. We're here to show up, lend a hand, and be a true partner through life's big moments and everyday milestones. We're especially grateful to Maine Famous for shining a light on the local businesses and neighbors who shape the heart of the mountains regions in Maine. Thanks for being part of our story.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we are in Bridgeton, Maine, and you have Bridgton Books. And I know that you have been here since the early 1990s. And I would love to hear how you landed here, because I know you grew up in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
I love Vermont.
It's the closest state to Maine, I think, that there is.
Yeah.
We love Vermont. And I want to hear how you landed in Maine. How did you choose Bridgeton?
Yeah, so we were actually looking for a place to start a store in northern New England, and Vermont was saturated with bookstores at the time, and we looked at a place in New Hampshire, but we were actually on our way to look at Fryeburg, Maine, to see if that would be a good place to start a store. And as we were driving through, we stopped in Bridgeton at this small convenience store and sort of fell in love with the town, and there was a vacant space. There was a lot of vacant spaces actually at this time in Bridgeton, but we rented a space, and I ordered books, and we built some shelves, and we started 1993, I guess.
That's amazing.
There was a woman working at the convenience store who, I guess she was a USM student, and she was very encouraging to start a store in Bridgeton. Oh, you have to start a store in Bridgeton. So that made us think about it a little more. And then we just saw all the lakes and the summer homes, and we thought, well, you really need to have the summer tourism, which is our bread and butter for the bookstore. So we ended up settling on Bridgeton.
Was Bridgeton anything like when you came to Maine? Did you have a preconceived notion? Did people say, "Oh, Maine is like this," and did it match that, or did you find it different? Or I was pretty familiar with Maine. I went to college in Maine, so I had used to live sort of in Maine for a few years, and but it was sort of at the end of the manufacturing era, and there was still a moccasin factory and a knitting mill, and there were some things that closed in the next 3 to 5 years, and there was a lot of boarded up buildings, and so it's funny how today there's been a real rejuvenation of the town, and Bridgeton Books was responsible for that.
Oh yeah. I'd like to think that we helped a little bit with that. Yeah.
I'd love to hear kind of what you have observed in being in business on Main Street in Bridgeton over the past 30 years. You've seen what happened after the mill closed, and now you've seen it completely transform. I mean, I think you've...
Yeah, well, I think like in most places in Maine, I think the trend was everybody was leaving Maine, and then maybe it was during COVID, obviously, or just everybody started returning to Maine, and people moving into their second homes, or just buying up real estate, and so especially in the last 4 or 5 years, Bridgeton's really grown. We're lucky to have the ski area, which is wonderful. That's always been here, there's just quite a change in say the last 5 to 10 years in Bridgeton, and people have discovered it, I think.
Lots of great restaurants, lots of locally owned shops.
And it's colorful. I'm a sucker for a colorful town.
Oh, okay.
I was driving in this morning and I just got in a good mood once I got to Bridgeton.
You can't not have a good time in Bridgeton, I think.
Yeah. This next weekend is Ladies' Weekend. That's a big, that's a lot of fun. Hundreds and hundreds of people converge on the town and do shopping, and restaurants everybody has specials, and have a wine tasting here, and we do discount all our calendars, or everybody does something, and we have there's going to be a little trolley train going up and down the town.
Oh, cool.
It's huge, actually. It's a huge event.
We'll be having our winter carnival later this winter, and that's always a good time with all sorts of events and things going on. In the summer is when we have most of our things going on. So we have the Music on Maine, which Maine Eco Homes has done a wonderful job having. It's a free concert once a month, sometimes twice a month, and they get really good name bands. And there's food trucks, and it's actually right behind the bookstore, and it's a wonderful events there. And then there's Ladies' Weekend in November, the week before Thanksgiving. It's always a lot of fun, where all the stores and restaurants do special deals, and they have a little trolley train going up and down the town, taking people around, and it's a lot of wonderful things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you own an independent bookstore. Love that. And I just was curious, with all of the incredible Maine authors we have and books about Maine, is there a Maine book that you would say accurately reflects life in Maine? So that could be anything from Blueberries for Sal to The Beans of Egypt, Maine. Do you have a book in mind that you would say for somebody to read to get kind of an accurate reflection on what life in Maine is like?
Richard Russo does a good job. Empire Falls. Just talking about the working class towns and people. I love Lily King. I love Stephen King. Obviously, he's wonderful. Stephen King does a great job with setting obviously he has, supernatural elements or horror elements, but he's great at just writing about the average, person and what they're thinking and what, so.
I'm watching Welcome to Derry now on I'm watching that show, which is based on it.
On it?
Yes.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Is it scary?
Yes.
Yeah, and then, the children's books, obviously. McCloskey is the classic, and Blueberries for Sale, One Morning in Maine. But Chris Van Dusen is a great, wonderful.
Children's author, right?
Yeah, yep, and he's got some great books like Circus Ship and things.
Is the Circus Ship based on the one off of Stonington that went down? Or?
Yeah,
it's
a
no
children's
kidding.
book about that story. Yeah. Yep. It's a wonderful story, and with the animals escaping onto the island, and then there's one page or a couple pages where you have to find where the animals are hidden, and but it's a good story.
Do you have a whole section in your bookstore that's based on the Maine authors?
Yep. Yeah. We have a big Maine, Maine fiction, Maine nonfiction, Maine history, children's Maine. So yeah, we definitely have a big, and we have a big following for that. And it's important. There's a lot of small presses in Maine, and it's a little hard to keep them, represent all of them, because it's a lot of get 2 books here, 4 books there. But I try to do that. And, so
the last book I bought at Bridgton Books was about the historic taverns in Maine. You'd be shocked to hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have an affection for that.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Are there any in Bridgeton?
We might find a couple later.
Yeah.
Speaking of being a small independent bookstore in Maine, with a lot of Maine authors in your bookstore, and I know you've done an event with Stephen King. Do you bring in a lot of Maine authors to do events?
Yeah. We not as much as we used to. And the trouble with our store is we don't have the bookshelves aren't on wheels. So there's not I can't move a lot of bookshelves around and make a space for 30 people. I mean, we have room for an author. It's a small space. So lately we've been partnering with either libraries, or we do a lot of things with the Denmark Arts Center, which is over in Denmark, Maine, and they have that we bring in 4 or 5 authors a summer there, and we sponsor that. But we do authors as well coming into the store.
Your Facebook page has a ton of events. I mean, I was just looking at it the other day. It really it's awesome.
Great. Yep. We do a lot of things. My wife Pam is the social media person, so she does most of that.
Nice. And she's also the one that goes to Atlanta to the big gift show.
Yep.
And does she curate all of the adolescent, young adult books?
Yeah, we sort of. I mean, I order them, but she reads more of them than I do, and so she has her picks. Pam's picks, and she gets all the gifts for the store and all the cards, and she goes a long ways trying to find unique cards and gifts. And if she sees it somewhere else, then she doesn't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So, Maine is famous for a lot of different things, whether that's authors or desserts. I'm just curious, between the classic Maine Needham, Maine's official state snack, the whoopie pie, or Maine's official dessert, the wild Maine blueberry pie. Where are you at?
I love the whoopie pies. Yeah, yep. I mean, but I do love blueberry pie too. So I guess it's a toss up there. Yeah.
Is there a place in Bridgeton that you say, hey, if you're going to go get a whoopie pie, this is the spot you have to go?
Yeah, I mean, Beth's Kitchen has good ones. Yeah. That's probably my go-to place.
My dad is obsessed with whoopie pies, and he drove around Maine for most of his career. So he had specific stations where he would have to stop and get his whoopie pie. So I didn't know if there was one place that you're wild about.
Yeah, no.
Beth's Kitchen.
Yeah, Beth's Kitchen's great. There's a new place down on the other end of town. Baked with Love that's the one that a lot of people like. But the Can Family Bakery too. Their bagels are
supposed
awesome. To be really good too. So.
Their bagels.
I don't go
well,
out
we're talking about whoopie pies.
To eat that much, but so I don't know if they do whoopie pies. But
speaking of baked goods, our friend Amber from Stella Blues Bakery, which is a custom home bakery where you can order these amazing apple cider donuts, any number of different cookies. These are my personal favorite, the adult sort of Pop-Tarts, which are these major Pop-Tarts that have real fruit filling. And they'll deliver them. If you're here in Bridgeton, you can pre-order them and have them here at the Noble House Inn or anywhere else. They'll meet you anywhere in town and drop them off for you.
Amazing. When we spoke last week, we were talking about being in business for 30 years in a small town that has seen a lot of ups and downs. And I'm curious if you and Pam ever had a moment where you were second-guessing your decision to have a small business.
Yeah, I guess the probably right when the ebooks came out. I knew they were coming, ahead of time, and I was, a little stressful about it, and was considering, maybe this is a good time to get out of the business, and but I just couldn't think of anything else. I wanted to do more, so I said, well, we'll just go with it and see how it goes, and it also, the year everybody got a Kindle for Christmas was also when the economy tanked a little, with the real estate crash in, was it 2008? Yeah. So sales went down a little, but never, they never went down, just single digit decreases for a couple of years, and then since then they've always gone up. So that would have been the probably the scariest time for us, I think. Although the first year I opened, I think I told you there was a lot of soul searching there that first year. Like everybody was like, "You're crazy." It was the Barnes and Noble had just opened up and in South Portland, and everybody wanted to know how much my books were discounted and everything. I went to see an accountant so I could have my taxes done and started to get done, and he didn't know I had opened the bookstore, and he's like, "Don't open a bookstore. Don't do it. I highly advise you not to." I was like,
"Too late.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I already opened." And so
it seems like there's a resurgence, though, of local independent bookshops. So you think a lot of Mainers really do support them. I know where I live, or where we live over in the Mid-Coast, there's several, and I see more popping up because I think people here really do believe in supporting their local independent bookstores.
Yeah. I feel like we have great support from the local customer base, and I think you're right. Since maybe 8 years ago or 6 years ago, but there's been a rise of bookstore openings, and so that's a good trend to have, I guess. And I think people realize, that they make it. You can sort of make a difference with where you shop, and obviously you can get things cheaper on Amazon, but the money just disappears from your community, and whereas if you shop in your community, then I buy something if someone buys something at the bookstore, then I buy something at the hardware store, and the hardware store buys something at the restaurant, and so. Yeah.
Have you found yourself needing to have some come to Jesus moments with people in the community who maybe do come in and they ask for donations, and you've never seen them in the store before, or they could be the same person who's giving you a hard time over a $1 discount they can get on Amazon versus buying a book in your store? I've heard this from other people, and I just wondered how you handle it.
Yeah, well, we give away a lot of gift certificates, and we always, even if it's, we always give away something. I never say no, and happy to support whatever, fundraiser for this. A lot of times it's fundraisers, or, the schools have things going on. And yeah, sometimes you don't know the person and that's coming in, and that, obviously you I don't know, you just bite your tongue, and maybe because we're helping them, they'll support us. But it's there's, I don't know, over 50% of the population do not read anymore. Then you have people that use libraries, which, I mean, hey, you pay taxes. Libraries are great. You have people that only read ebooks. So we have a small segment of the population that supports us, and but we also now we sell a lot of gifts, which has helped our bottom line, and we have a lot of great gifts. So.
I have a problem where I always start a book. I have like a pile of books next to my bed where I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to read. And then I get through a few pages and somehow I just let it go. And I need to stick with it. Probably too much of my ADHD kicking in and I just don't have the attention span for it. But I think there's nothing like turning pages and reading an actual book.
Yeah.
One of the things that you and I also had talked about off camera was you end up reading more about books every year than books that you actually can sit down and enjoy because you're trying to figure out how to put, what you're going to bring into the store.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a funny thing for me to imagine. And then I was also curious because there's so many retail shops, not just in Maine, but around the country that if they don't sell their inventory, that's a sunk cost. But with you are able to take a little bit more risk because you can return books that don't sell.
Yeah, yep. So going to what you said first about the reading, I read a lot about books too. But I probably read more books than I do, more pages of books than I do pages of book reviews and things. But we when you're ordering from a publisher, they have three times a year they have catalogs, and Random House will be a couple thousand titles to go through.
Wow. And
they're all have little one-page synopses of what the book's about, and you can look at sales data from the previous author's books, and it's all on digital now. So I have to sit in front of a laptop for a lot, which I hate. But so I used to get paper catalogs, and I could sit in the bathtub and mark them up, or if you're going on a car ride, I could mark them up. But now you have to hostage to your screen.
Hostage to your screen.
But
we all are. That is us.
That's true.
As a society.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But I don't know of any other business which is allowed to return, unsold product, but we are allowed to return books that don't sell, and that does allow us to take a lot of chances. The only thing we have to do is we have to pay the freight, which can be, a little, 5 or 10%. You can take a 5 or 10% hit returning the freight, especially nowadays. The freight has gone really high. So I marked down a lot of books too, which I think will sell, but I can return.
And you can
return
special
books as well.
order books for people if they want something
Yeah,
specific.
we special order books all the time. We get them. Usually, if I send out an order to my distributor, I can get the books within the second business day. So, yeah, so it's pretty quick.
Cool.
Yeah.
You get a lot of locals that come in, but also summer visitors, we suspect. So are there differences in reading habits and the genre, I guess, of books that folks from away that come here in the summertime tend to gravitate towards versus locals?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know about the difference in genre, but there's definitely I have to order for the summer, and I have to order for the rest of the year. And the summer, we have summer people that have a lot more disposable income that can afford, can afford that $40 cookbook, or things like that. Whereas in the rest of the year, those books don't move as much. So it is sort of interesting that we almost have two different seasons, but that's changing a little as people. We have people that now can work remotely and they live year round, and they may have work in New York City, but they have a place here and live here. So, but as far as genre, I don't see that much of a difference. The trend right now with books is Romantasy is big.
Oh,
which is,
okay.
I never, 5 years ago, no one had ever that term didn't exist 5 years ago. There was romance and there was fantasy, and there were authors that did sort of blended those two, but now, you know, people have romantasy sections.
I've never even heard of
things like that. Yeah. So it's just fantasy with a lot of romance in it as well, and
to go pick one up.
We have and so the romance is getting really popular, and it's not like the Daniel Steele.
I was going to say Daniel
yesteryear.
Steele is what I picture.
It's not like that anymore. Now they're more contemporary, and they're
Fabio
more
on the
hip,
cover.
and they're directed towards the 20 to 30-year-old
Woman?
subset. Mostly woman, yeah.
Besides the genre of romantasy, what is the number one best-selling title in the bookshop right now?
Boy, right now, that's a good question. We have, you know, there's Ken Follett's got a new one. John Grisham's got a new one. There is this, let's see. We tend our bestsellers tend to be on our staff picks table. So like the Lion Woman of Tehran, these books that may not be national bestsellers, but some of them are, but some of them aren't. I just read a phenomenal book by John Boyne called The Elements, which is really good. What else?
Well, that's a high compliment to your staff if the bestsellers are staff picks. I mean,
yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's the way it is with most independent bookstores. People come in, they want recommendations, and that's something that an algorithm can't give them or doesn't do as well because we know the customers, and on my table some books will like I had a customer that came in. And she's like, oh, you know, I didn't like that book that was on your table. You know, I'm like, well, it's not like I have books on the table for various things, you know, and that's why you sort of need to talk to us because I know you wouldn't like that book. That was a book.
She want a refund?
Yeah, no. Yeah. We know you get a relationship with a customer, and then you know what they like and what they don't like. But one customer is not going to like that book on the table, and one customer will like this book, or so it's a little complicated, but it's all about relationships and finding that, and that is where we get our. It's most rewarding for us is to match somebody with a good book and to have them be happy about it or have them discover a new author, and yeah.
I like words. Big font, lots of pictures, thin books. That's what I can handle. I don't know about you.
I'm self-help all day long. Every day, give me all the self-help.
Yeah, I probably need those too. You live in such a beautiful community. If I didn't live in Rockland, every time we visit here, we're like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool to live in Bridgeton with all the lakes and the mountains and all. How do you de-stress? You're a small business owner. We're small business owners. We have a lot of stress. Is there something that you do in your free time that...
We both like to hike a lot, my wife and I, or ski,
nice.
Cross country, downhill. I play ice hockey twice a week usually, and I'm also in a band.
Oh, wow!
Yep.
You do it all.
We play some music around town, mostly in the summer.
What do you play?
I play the fiddle.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So.
A fiddle-playing hockey player. I don't think my brain...
Are you the enforcer?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. So that keeps us busy, and we like the winters. We like Maine winters. So
that's great.
So for people who are not year-round residents here, they can still support Bridgeton Books by going online.
Yeah. And
where can they find you online?
Oh, bridgetonbooks.com. Yeah, and we have a shop option, and you can. It's not just the books that we have in the store. It's our distributor. So there's quite several 100,000 books to order from, and we also have we try to, when we get around to it, which we do a couple times a year. We'll throw on our favorite books
Okay.
on the
cool.
list if they want some suggestions.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to segue into the final lightning round,
Okay.
which Vanessa has suggested that you take some tequila.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll do the music.
A big thank you and congratulations to Saddleback Mountain. They were just named the #1 ski resort in the East by Ski Magazine, and if you've been up there lately, you know why. Incredible terrain, a great community vibe, and year-round mountain fun. Whether you're skiing, riding, or just hanging out on the deck, Saddleback is the place to be. We also want to thank Harcourt Waterfront and Fine Properties. They specialize in exceptional homes across the Maine coast and lakes region, pairing global reach with true local expertise. And thank you to Morton & Furbish Vacation Rentals. Whether you want a cozy camp or a high-end home on the lake, they're the go-to team in the mountains. They make it easy to plan a stay that feels just right for your trip. All right, number 1, what is a local business in Bridgeton that deserves a shout out from you?
Okay. Well, Ace Hardware is always my wonderful business. They have it's a 3rd generation business. They have great customer help, so I really like them.
What is one book you wish everyone would read this year?
Well, my all-time favorite book is Endurance by Lansing. It's a true story of Shackleton, and Shackleton was an Antarctic explorer, and he had just one of those overcoming. Their ship was iced in, and at the start of the book, the ship disintegrates in the ice, and they've got to figure out how to get back to civilization, and it's just a wonderful story.
There's a TV show called The Terror that's I think
yeah,
that's
there was a
inspired
book
by
about
that.
Yeah.
If it's on TV, I also know about it.
Yeah.
What is your personal favorite section in the store?
Oh, probably the travel adventure. I like true adventure stories, but also I read a lot of history. History's if you can find a true story that reads like a novel, that's
your jam.
Wonderful. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I can't do like a 800-page dry history book. It's got to be more of a faster paced book, and some authors are really good about doing that. But I also just love just a good novel, and I also read a ton of mysteries.
Okay.
I love mysteries. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Is River of Doubt one of your favorite?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
I know a book.
Yeah.
I read that one. I actually read that one.
Yeah.
About
Teddy Roosevelt's
adventure down the Amazon,
yeah.
which was unbelievable.
Yeah. That author, Candace Millard, all of her books are great.
Did I just sound smart there, like I knew a book? Are you impressed?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been a delightful way to start the season.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Feel free to take the baked goods.
Oh,
We've got extras out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you.